It is hot today. Welcome, everybody. This is Clear Blue Radiance, and I'm your host, Brother Francis Revels-Bey. This is an opportunity to come here and share some information with you every week here at the Resident Essentials YouTube channel. And this is always a wonderful time for this to happen. Well, here at Clear Blue Radiance, I'm the host, and I am a spiritual counselor for over the past 40 plus years that I've been doing this. This is my opportunity to come online and share the wisdoms and the teachings with you, with many of you, which I enjoy doing, and especially people like yourself who are seeking to have a greater clarity in your own life and also discover what your purpose can be or could be for yourself. Today's topic is, if you tune when you tune in, it's called "You Can Learn to Celebrate Your Life Like the Star That You Are" by creating stronger values of self-worth and blessed. That's what we're here to do, to bless others. And whenever we are giving ourselves this golden opportunity to be able to um, come on board, to be able to connect with Source, and that Source is divine Source. That Source is with ourselves. And so, whenever we can do that, we have this wonderful sense of knowing and being who we need to be. So, I just wanted to make sure that everything is functioning properly because we've had a lot of stress factors of heat out here. And by having these stress factors of heat going on, we've been, I don't know if you have been experiencing it, but I have certainly been experiencing it. And that's the heat wave. And being able to uh, be amongst family or friends, there's always a lot to do and a lot to receive, a lot to experience. So bear with me a second. I just want to make sure I'm coming up live here. Yes, I am. So, one of the things about life, in life, we are seeking to be in a position where we can get the things that we need. That's one of the things that we find ourselves doing. We're seeking to be able to be in a position to have a better life, to be able to not just have a better life, but to also become a better person. And you know how we can do that? One of the things is learning to love ourselves more. If we can learn to love ourselves more, we have an opportunity to allow ourselves to be greater than what we are. Sometimes we don't see ourselves as that. We don't value ourselves as that. And we should do that more often. This is an opportunity now for us to make as many corrections as possible. And as we make these corrections, we are making changes. And as we make the changes, we are helping not only ourselves, but others as well. And life is about giving a hand to others, picking other people up, helping those people get to where they have to go. So, when you think about it, what do you think about? You think about what is it that you need to do in order to make yourself feel better? Many times, people desire to become a celebrity. I mean, how many people remember as a child you want to be something in life? Maybe your hero was a sports athlete, an entertainer, um, a movie star, an actor, actress, or maybe someone in your community you looked up to. Maybe that person was celebrated. Maybe there's a historical figure that you remember and you were trying to, at least in your mind, align yourself, meaning trying to take on their attributes, their traits, because you aspired to be like them. Well, many times this means you want to what? Feel important. You want to feel like you are playing an important part in the world. But more or less, people are looking at you. This is what happens, right? This is what, when you think of it, it's a little removed from being a groupie. And you know what a groupie is, right? The groupie is someone who's a member of a group that's chasing after celebrity, wants to be with that celebrity, wants to sleep with that celebrity, wants to eat, party with that celebrity, wants to be in that group. Why? Because they feel important. They've been taken out of a normal, ordinary life and put, hopefully, on stage fantasizing with that celebrity. And so they want to feel what? Important in the eyes of other people. A lot of us have done that. Now, true, those of us who are more had an awakening, we were more metaphysically inclined, more spiritual oriented. Things like that didn't phase us. We weren't starstruck. We could see a star and we could realize, okay, that star that I'm looking at, let me see something. That star that I'm looking at is somebody who's just like me. That's what we were seeing. The star, the athlete, the actress, they're just like me. They're no different than I am. The only difference is they have an agent talking for them, an agent hooking them up into the movies, an agent, if they're a sports athlete, talking about their attributes, selling their attributes for a bigger contract, where that person didn't have to do that. Someone was speaking for them, making them what? Important, putting a dollar value on their head. So many times we don't hold them up to standards, right? Because we think they're perfect until you see the rumors come out. A lot of athletes have rumors, a lot of entertainers, actresses, singers, they have rumors and they finally catch up to them. And then there are those who learn to stay out of that limelight, who took care of their marriages or their single lives. They took care of themselves so they weren't involved in any scandals. Well, sometimes a regular person can be involved in a scandal. Why? Because they don't have any self worth. They don't know who they are. They are lacking that consciousness that they need. As we say in the metaphysical community, a higher consciousness. Or, like our head teacher here at Resident Essential says, we're supposed to be striving to have higher consciousness. Because when you have higher consciousness, and this is my understanding, you make better choices. When you have higher consciousness, you make better choices. You don't do the things that you used to do. You don't let your life fall by the wayside. You don't fall off a cliff. You don't lower your vibration. You keep your vibration higher. So When you can hold yourself up, when you have good to higher self esteem, then what happens is you will no longer have self doubt. You will no longer be carrying around a lot of anxiety. You won't have any fears about living your life for yourself, not living it for someone else, but learning to live your life for yourself. You don't have any more illusions about your world. Why? Because your world is coming in sync with itself and with you. You learn to think better, be better, do better. The late Reverend Ike always used to say, sometimes you have to fake it. But what he actually meant was sometimes, if there's something that you truly wanted to have in your life, you had to pretend. You had to more than pretend. You had to act as if you already had it. And that's why he used to say, he would tell people, come to church and get dressed up. He wasn't talking about getting dressed up on a Sunday, getting dressed for him. He was talking about getting dressed for themselves. To what? Impress themselves, that they would look better. And when looking better, they feel better. When they're looking and feeling better, they act better. They react to things around them better. What we come to learn is that power, the misuse of power, is not good. Sometimes it's often been said that people give away their power to certain situations, life situations, giving away your power. Why? Because you don't think you have any. So you're giving away your power. One of those things, hey, we'll talk entertainment. One of the things you did was what? You let someone decide for you. That's right. You gave someone else the power to make a decision for you. And when you continuously do that, when you continuously find validation from other people, so you go to someone else and you tell them, well, how do you think I look? How do you think I'm being? Should I do this business idea? Should I try out this concept? Should I dress like this? Should I get these shoes? Should I wear this kind of makeup? Should I get this wig? Should I wear these jewelry, these rings? While you're busy asking somebody else, you're essence empowering someone else, and you're what? Taking the power away from yourself. When you take the power away from yourself, you deflate yourself. Now you have what is called either a deflated ego or an overly inflated ego. One of my guides, beloved Akhenaten, says, you create what happens is you have a miscreated ego, because the ego is supposed to act as a filter for the soul of you, for your higher self, so you can differentiate between what's right and what's wrong, what's good for you and what's not good for you. But when you have this inflated ego, means you have self, you're not just proud about what you do, but you have too much self pride. You start bragging about yourself. Now you're not being humble. So we all have done this at some point in our lives. We all have looked up to somebody. Could have been a family member that we trusted, that we loved unconditionally, that we liked. And we felt, well, that family member, if I could become like my father, like my uncle, like my brother, like man next door, the woman down the block who looks to be living a better life, I too will live a better life. But we forget how valuable we are. We forget our self worth. So just take a moment and think, what do you think makes you worthy? What do you think makes you worthy? Because you're trying to create a value system for yourself. What makes you worthy? I'm gonna write this down as a question for myself. How do you value yourself? Is it money? Is it material things that you have? Some people say, well, I'd like to have a big house, like that celebrity, big house on the hill. When I move away, I want to have a mansion. Well, what are you going to do with the mansion that makes it valuable to you? Are you going to use that mansion to show off, put every expensive thing you can in that mansion just to show it off to other people or to show it off to people in the neighborhood? Hey, you got money just like they got? What are you going to do? Is your life based on how many things you have? Is your life based on how many things you have? Think about it. Now, there's some people that have a minimal lifestyle. You look at their property and it looks like the average property to you. There seems to be nothing spectacular about it. It's not huge like other houses you have seen. It's not even in a neighborhood that's considered valuable. You know, I've been living out here in Albuquerque 11 years, and I've seen some houses on the outside that don't look like nothing. Now, I'm not judging the person with the property, but it doesn't look like anything spectacular. It's like, okay, they got a lot of property, half an acre. The house is fairly large. It's okay. Now, here's the value of the house. It's clean. You could tell it's been the upkeep on the house is there. They got a rooftop, it's nice. Doors and windows, nice. Fairly nice car they're driving. They're not driving a Jaguar or a Benz, but they have a car of good value. It gets them around. They got the wife has a car, the husband has a car. Maybe they have a teenager and they can drive. They got their own car. Or they got two children and the children are sharing the car. Or the two children have their own car. The daughter has one, the son has one. Then you go inside the house. And it's a well lived in house, but it's clean. No mold in that house. No dust or dirt nowhere. No scuffed walls. Well painted, well taken care of. Okay, they got a flat screen TV. They got a couple of TVs. They got their computers, laptops, you name it. Nice fluted lights. They got some structures, some paintings hanging up on their wall. It's nice. But you can tell that's not what their value is. Their value, their self worth, is how they carry themselves. You can tell that the parents, right down to the children, they're very understanding people. They have a nice home, but they don't brag about it. They take family vacations when they can, but they don't brag about it. They might know some important people. You might see a few pictures around, but they don't throw that in your face. They live by a set of principles. What's theirs is theirs, and what yours is yours. They don't value any of their material things over your material things. They don't even steal what you have. Why? Because what they have, they value. That's close to them. The children never grew up with a lot of toys, yet they took care of the toys that they were given. They had bicycles. They took care of those bicycles. If you saw those bicycles now, you can tell if there's no rust stains on them, they took care of their bicycles. As they get older, they sell one car and get another car. They're just driving in comfort. As long as they got air conditioning and heat and it's comfortable for more than four people in that car, that makes them happy. They good gas mileage. They got lights, headlights and tail lights, right? Blinkers, steering fluid, comfortable ride. See, we gonna like look at ourselves. How are we valuing ourselves? Do you value your life based on the number of vacations you can take next to your neighbors? Remember that phrase? Are you trying to keep up with the Joneses? Are you trying to be like the Smiths? Or are you trying to be like yourself? Are you marketing yourself in such a way that you're comfortable with yourself? See, we have so many different ways. Anybody that's in here, in the room on the here in the YouTube channel, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them while you're hearing me talk about this subject. So, what makes you worthy? What? What is it that you're doing that makes you a worthy person? Because, as this title says, you can learn to celebrate your life like the star that you are. What makes you a star in your life? Are you living your life in such a way that you become a living example for someone else? There are plenty of athletes out there that always say, "Hey, I'm not your hero. Your true hero is your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your siblings. If they're kind to you, you're kind to them. If they're doing something that's making an impact on your life for the better, they're the true hero. Your teacher, professor, they're the true hero, not me." Why? Because why does the athlete say that? Because every athlete knows there's only 1,000 to 2,000 people that make it into the professional football leagues, basketball leagues, hockey. Why? Because in order to play them team sports, not everybody goes straight to the team, the major league. Like in baseball, they go to the minor league. And they may be stuck on the minor league for a long time before they get called up to the major. Because usually somebody in the major gets injured and then they got to call somebody up. That person gets up, they got a short run or a long one. Not like football where you're thrown on there on the pro team, but you got to try out every year to save your position. You got to work for it every year. So anybody can come up and take your position. You become second string, even though you had a great year. But if you're not producing during the training camp, you become second string, and that new person is now the head banana, quarterback, or whatever. Then there's others that play the individual sports like golf and tennis. It's on you. Either you're going to make it or not. At least in golf and tennis, you don't get thrown out, especially in golf. You got to hit a certain rating the first weekend. You got to be right there in the 70s. If not, you're out. Tennis, either you lose or you win. Boxing, either you lose or you win. Martial arts, you lose or you win. So I say all of that to say, what are you doing? What are we doing to value ourselves? What are we doing to bless ourselves? Because we want to be able to bless ourselves. In the end, you have to become the blessing. People say, "Well, when I get out of here, I want people to talk about me at my funeral, talk about all of my praises that I was given, all the things that I've done." Or they may not talk about you. But you don't have to wait till your time to transition and a funeral or ceremony is done in your honor to have done something. You want to do that now. You want to live a life now that you can be happy with. I always used to say all the time when people used to ask me, "How come you're not making a lot of money as a metaphysician, spiritual teacher?" I said, "Because I want to be able to sleep at night. What did that phrase mean? I want to be able to sleep at night. I don't want to pickpocket somebody for their money. I don't want to tell them something that's a lie to make them feel good or make them come back to me repeatedly. I want to give them the information right then and there. In fact, when I teach classes, I'm not teaching with the sensation you got to keep coming back. I'm trying to give you everything in case something happens where I leave the planet the next day. You got everything. So, my question is, what makes you worthy? What are you doing in life that you can say that makes you worthy, not to the world, not to your family and friends and coworkers, worthy to yourself? How do you value yourself? What are you putting out there for yourself so that you know when you get up every day, it's a good day? What's that song? I'm going to have a good day. Da 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 da. You want to know that you're going to have a good day because you got to live with you. What did the late Michael Jackson say? If you want to change the world, you got to change yourself. What was that tune? The Man in the Mirror. He said, take a look at yourself and change. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, are you thinking about the things you might need to change in order for your life to be better? But it's not just, see, having a better life is just the extension of what you feel about who you are on the inside. So, how valuable are you to yourself? That's the real inner core message. You see, you're born to be a star. Every last one of us is. We're born to be celebrated. We're born to be remembered. We're born to be loved. Hey, but we have to what? Celebrate ourselves, our lives, our families, our loved ones, our friends, our associates. We need to see everybody in our life like a star. We need to see everybody in our life that is making an impact right in their immediate circle, then their extended circle. Immediate circle is their family, then their friends and coworkers, then the business field, if they're in the business field or they run a business. People always say, what's your mission in life? Well, here's my question to people and ask you, what's your mission? Ask them what is their mission. Because nobody is perfect. Some people tell you they're living a great life. Well, that's outside for everybody in the world to see. But who are they behind closed doors? See, we have social media and we could brag on social media that we're having a great life. But there's some people that use social media and they'll show you the other side of their life. They're crying tears. They're not doing well. They're depressed. They're angry at themselves. You might say, well, why are they doing that? They're just showing you the truth about themselves. They're letting you know that they got that dark shadow side and they got that bright as a beacon light side. They're just being honest. So, how honest are you with yourself? Remember, I heard a guy on TikTok. He says, he comes on, he's got a dog, a female dog, and he's got a male dog now. And he's always washing their face and he treats their front paws as their hands and the back paws as their feet. But what does he say? He'll be doing, and he specifically says it, turns the camera on, and he goes, good morning, Edna. Good morning, Robert Lee. And then he looks at the camera and says, we didn't wake up with you. What is he saying? I'm showing you a glimpse of how I do my world every day. but he also shows you that he's battling with mental illness. He also shows you he's hard on himself. He shows you his life is rough and not easy. And then he shows you where he feels like he's doing well. The shamans would always say, you have two wolves. Which one are you going to feed? The one who's carrying anger, deceit, being manipulative, being the backbiter, attacking others' personalities and characters? Or are you going to look at the other wolf, loving and kind, understanding, protective, a leader? See, a true leader, man or woman, has many defeats. Even if a position is handed to them, they have many defeats. Good afternoon. So, what has to happen here is you're going to have a good side, a bad side, an upside, a downside, a quiet moment, an active moment. But the key factor is remember your self worth. You were born to be celebrated like a star. You're a star in your own universe. You're the star of your own movie, your own life. And on the inside, everything is happening. And you got to clear the emotional part of yourself, the mental part of yourself, the physical part of yourself, the spiritual part of yourself, the astral part of yourself. You're going to have your ups and downs. Life has those moments. It's not always going to be like I can't say it on the air. But it's not always going to be giggling. There's going to be some down times too. But those down times make us stronger. In the good times, make it easier. So today's topic was you could learn to celebrate your life like the star that you are by creating stronger values of self-worth to bless yourself. So before I close out, let's do a little meditation. Many of you know I love to teach meditation. This is a short guided meditation for you. I want you to just clear your mind, do some deep breathing with me. Inhale through the nose, let the breath out through the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose and let the breath out through the mouth. Now, I just want you to take one image of yourself. And I want you to see in your mind this image of yourself that's overflowing, brimming with goodness, brimming with light, brimming with unconditional love. These are the things that you value: unconditional love, compassion, grace. Grace means things come to you effortlessly. You don't have to work. You don't have to be the wealthiest person to have grace, and you sure don't have to be the poorest person to have grace. Grace is the part of you that shows up when you least expect it and blesses you so that you become a blessing for others. I want you to feel that presence of your self-worth. How much are you worth? Are you worthy enough that not only do you love yourself, you love others who are like you? Not only do you have the self-worth to love yourself, but you can honor and love those who are higher or lower than you, if you're thinking that way. That all people around you are just as worthy as you are, just living in a state of harmony like you are. You know, can you see yourself approaching a homeless person? But in your mind, that person is not homeless. In your mind, that person has value. And in your mind, when you give them a quarter or $1 or $2 or $5, You don't see them drinking the money away. You see them filling their belly with sustenance, with food, putting clothing on their back. You see them in a better state in which you found them. That is your vision for them. You're uplifting their self worth, their value, how others may see them, and eventually it will click into place. Can you look in the mirror and see within yourself that the climate of your mind, the weather of your mind has changed? Where you're no longer walking around in a state of sadness. You're no longer walking around in a state of confusion. You're no longer walking around in a state of moodiness or depression or sickliness. To you, your body is absolutely free of dis-ease. Your body is healthy. That chi is flowing through the fascia, that sac of energy separating the skin from the organs, and that chi is lit up. It's radiant. It's so radiant that when others see you, your skin glistens, your eyes sparkle. You get so good at it, at expressing self love, that someone who is sensitive enough to seeing your aura, seeing your light, sees sparks of gold and silver and beautiful pinks and blues, radiant blues and greens and reds, just wholesomeness coming, high energy kicking in around you. Take that moment and begin to embrace the value of who you are. Because remember, you're here to be celebrated like a star, but you don't wait on others to celebrate you as a star. Celebrate yourself. Let all these things become a seed in your life where you begin to bless yourself so that you lay down a foundation and footprints that are clearly seen by others, and that you're able to help someone else see their own footprints in the sand clearly. Help someone help themselves. Well, I'm going to sign off now. Coming up on Saturday is a lot of things at Resident Essentials. You need to plug into Resident Essentials, the group on Facebook, to find out what's going on. But I believe we have maybe tarot circles going on perhaps this Saturday. We have this gentleman that came from Sedona named Seth, Seph Dietland, I think is his last name. He's a hypnotherapist. He was just there on Tuesday night and he did a beautiful, understood a guided meditation and plugged you into his angels. They answered your question. He's going to be there. He has some appointments already, but you need to get in touch with Resident Essentials website, residentessentials.com, and go there and look up practitioners. I believe he's in there. And when you look him up, you can make an appointment. He will be at the Psychic Fair this Sunday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. You know, admission is free. I'll be there doing Celestial I Am portraits and Angel of Grace readings. Michelle Vidal will be there giving her clairvoyant and clairsentient readings, direct psychic readings. She's a medium herself. We have Rosie Navarra. She will be in there reading as well. We should have Nicole Bruton Phillip giving readings as well. It's going to be a great time. We should have Amber there doing Reiki treatments. It's going to be fun. I believe we will have Tracy Whittick there doing her transmosis healing. It's going to be fun. You need to be there 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. this Sunday. Well, this Saturday, I'll be there from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. with my Creative Pathwork meditation series. You come and I teach you how to use not just guided meditations with color rays, but how to really get in touch with yourself. And I'm leading you toward your higher self. Your higher self is the big kahuna. That's the one you need to be in touch with. Then everything else will be crystal clear. Your purpose will be crystal clear. Your life will have greater clarity. Well, this is Clear Blue Radiance. I'm the host, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I will be back here next Thursday at 1 p.m. for another original podcast. You know, on Wednesdays, Walk In Wednesdays, that's Dominion Tarot. We get a one card tarot reading and a subject that she talks about. That's Donna. But you can listen to on Mondays or Tuesdays at 12 noon. Donna's on 12 p.m. You can listen to Michelle Vidal, and she has some wonderful metaphysical lessons and esoteric gems for you to tune into. In fact, she's teaching a course. You need to get in touch with her. That course is going to start real soon, and it's done on a Tuesday, so it may be starting next week. You need to get in touch. She's a great teacher. Well, it's time for me to sign out, get off, and boom, do some work here. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. My grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Thank you for tuning in today to Clear Blue Radiance. Take care now.